Welcome to Word of the Day Wednesdays.
No, my name is Nicole D. Miller, author of Stories for the Urban Soul. Stories for the Urban Soul is a compilation of short stories, novellas, and some poetry depicting Black characters dealing with everyday life issues, from social injustices to heartbreak to parenting to sisterhood and friendships and spirituality. It is faith-based and encouraging, hope-filled, and will definitely leave you wanting to read more. So, as most of you know, I started Word of the Day Wednesdays to piggyback off of my latest blog. Every week I blog at NicoleDMiller.com Monday morning at 7 a.m. So sign up if you haven't already. And this last week, my blog post is called When You Don't Fit In. Now, this was near and dear to my heart. I shared a few childhood instances of not fitting in, and I do remember those memories very vividly, even in my late 30s. I'm barely hanging on to the late 30s, guys. But I think what's interesting is that I think for most of us, we remember these impactful childhood moments, especially if they were negative. So my particular experiences were not being in the in crowd, not being in the popular crowd, and marching to the drum of my own beat, or the beat of my own drum. See? So what I appreciate about my childhood self is that even when I didn't fit in, I chose character over fleeting acceptance. So I chose my independence, my leadership, and my honor. And so as a kid, that's pretty remarkable, right? And I love how those traits as kids kind of manifest into who we will be as adults. My cat is playing with my lipstick right now. So if you hear anything, it's because he jacked me for my lipstick, went in my purse. Anyways. So the interesting thing is that right now I'm listening to Will Smith's book, Will. And first and foremost, I have my own opinions on, his incident at the award show. We won't get into all of that. But I think what bothers me the most is that our culture is so quick to turn their backs on people who make a mistake or who express that they have a flaw. And I just bring that up because I am disheartened that someone's one moment of losing their cool or, making a rash decision or an emotional rash decision could jeopardize their whole career or, cause people to suddenly dismiss them. And we're in this, what they call the cancel culture, and I just think it's trash. So I don't adhere to the cancel culture. I am a believer in Christ, so I believe in grace and forgiveness, and that there is grace to learn from our mistakes. So I just say that as a prelude as to me listening to his book, and the purpose of me bringing that up is that I resonate with Will's story being the outsider. He did not fit in as a kid. He did not have the swag. He did not have the acceptance. And even when he got into hip-hop, he was regarded as someone who was weaker or squeaky clean, didn't have the rough background. But clearly it was a part of his purpose, and he pushed forward anyway. So I think so many of us can identify with not fitting in, and I think in my blog, I was just able to remind myself of Yeshua's path and his experience with not fitting in and his response to that. Being rejected from his own people, but finding his tribe, which I don't really talk about that in this blog post, but that's been a part of my journey. Finding his tribe, finding his people, finding the people that accept him for who he was. He had his disciples, he had his homies, and so that was my story too. And I think that was Will's story as well. I was catching his interview on the David Letterman show, not the old show, but like the new one. I think it's like Welcome to My Next Guest or something about my next guest. But anyways, he had some longtime friends that have been riding with him since early in his career and when he was really young. So my point is, in the blog post, it's just to remind you that if you have those experiences with not fitting in, a lot of times it's the people and it's not you. And to find your tribe, remind yourself of your calling, your characteristics that are amazing, and that you're made in the image of the Creator, and you're loved just the way you are. So check out the full blog at NicoleDMiller.com. Normally I have like all these future events coming up, but I feel like it's a little bit quiet for now. I am planning something for the end of June, but I need to solidify that. I do have one announcement that I'll make on here. You guys know I had my webinar a few weeks ago, So You Want to Be an Author. That webinar is now available for sale on my website. You can go to NicoleDMiller.com. At the top, there's a heading, webinar recording. I'm also going to put the link in my link tree. So if you are an author, if you know authors and you missed out and you still have all these questions about being an independent author and publisher, definitely cop the recording on my website. And I feel like I definitely have a panel discussion that's going to be at South Euclid Library in August. But that's still a couple of months out, and then I'm definitely going on vacation next month, so I definitely need a break. But other than that, you guys have been so great. I had my 1 year celebration for Stories for the Urban Soul, and that was fantastic, and I felt so loved. And I actually just dropped my newsletter today where I talk about that. So if you haven't copped the newsletter, check it out. It's available on my link tree, and you can subscribe on any blog post on my website. All right, that's all I have for you guys. Feel free, again, check out my website, NicoleDMiller.com. You can follow me on Instagram at HCOHB. You can go to my Facebook business page, facebook.com/HCOHB. Sometimes I tweet on Twitter at NicoleDMiller. And you can email me, NicoleDMiller1983 @gmail.com. Thanks, guys, and have a good one.